Shock and dismay filled the German town of Idlib Oberstein Tuesday. Days earlier, a 20-year-old gas station worker was shot dead after an argument about a face mask. Prosecutors said the cashier had asked a 49-year-old man to comply with the rules and cover up. The customer, who wanted to buy beer, refused and left the store. He later returned wearing a mask, but pulled it down when he approached the worker, who again asked him to follow the rules. The suspect then produced a gun and shot the cashier dead. The suspect gave himself up at a police station and, according to prosecutors, he said coronavirus measures were causing him stress.
Armed soldiers on the move in Bogota, patrolling crime hotspots in the city, checking identities and frisking passers-by freely. The deployment of hundreds of soldiers in Colombia's main cities followed an appeal from Mayor Claudia Lopez to the national government. While critics say the measure is dangerous and unconstitutional, some believe it's a necessary evil. Robberies and violent crimes have seen a sharp upward spike since the economy started to recover after months of coronavirus confinement. So far this year, the city has registered 754 murders, a 15.7% increase, and more than 65,000 robberies. But what worries the most authorities is the level of violence.
This, according to Britain's Metropolitan Police Force, is Denis Sergeyev, alias Sergei Fedotov. He's charged with being the third man involved in the attempted murder of Sergei Skripal and his daughter Yulia in the UK using the nerve agent Novichok in March 2018. A police officer, Nick Bailey, also became critically ill, and a woman, Dawn Sturgis, died months later after she came into contact with nerve agent left behind. Skripal had been a Russian spy turned double agent feeding secrets to Britain's intelligence services. Released as part of a spy swap, he settled in the Wiltshire city of Salisbury, where he was targeted, say police, by agents working for Russia's GRU military intelligence agency. Sergeyev is thought to have been the man in charge. Prime Minister Boris Johnson demanded the suspects be handed over.
Nor, I might add, would many of my Republican colleagues like to see a change in the Irish Accords, the end result having a closed border again.
That is absolutely right. On that point, Joe, you know, we are completely at one, and I think nobody wants to see anything that interrupts or unbalances the Belfast Good Friday Accords. That's the Belfast Good Friday Agreement. That's the. I think
US climate envoy John Kerry says he's delighted by a pledge by China not to build any new coal-fired power stations abroad. President Xi Jinping's announcement at the United Nations General Assembly could significantly limit the financing of coal plants in the developing world. But Mr. Xi made no reference to energy policy in China itself, where half the world's coal is burned.
China will strive to peak carbon dioxide emissions before 2030. And achieve carbon neutrality before 2060.
One of Australia's biggest earthquakes on record struck the state of Victoria on Wednesday. Government agency Geoscience Australia said it registered at a magnitude of 6.0 and that its epicenter was near a rural town northeast of Melbourne. The earthquake caused damage to buildings in the country's second largest city, with rubble blocking one of its main streets. Tremors could also be felt throughout neighboring states and cities as far as Adelaide and Sydney. More than half of Australia's population of 25 million live in these affected areas, though no deaths have so far been reported.
The Pentagon has said that a drone strike has hit a vehicle in northwestern Syria, resulting in the killing of a senior Al-Qaeda leader. This is what the Americans are claiming, and this has happened in the northwestern region of Syria that is largely rebel-controlled. The airstrike was conducted near the Idlib province, and there are no initial indications at this point of time, according to the Americans, of civilian casualties. Now, it is important to take these claims by the Americans with a pinch of salt whenever they say that there are no civilian casualties in their drone strikes. Now, the US has carried out attacks in Idlib before as well, targeting what the Americans claim are Al-Qaeda militants and also the leader of the so-called Islamic State group. Remember Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, who was hiding in the province after fleeing from eastern Syria.
تفریح آمده بودیم امیجا نمی کشتی سوار شدیم اندیوالا بود رفیقا بود مردم از امنیت ما خیلی خوشحال بود مگر شما امارات اسلامی افغانستان که آمده همین مردم خیلی امارات اسلامی افغانستان خوشحال هستند با کسی مزاحمت نمی کنند.